Longest-running hip-hop groups. Now, Adam Yauch is trading in his mic for a camera and is stepping behind the lens for the new film, Gunning For That Spot. And we are very happy to have him here with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you. Thanks for getting up early.
No, thanks for having me on.
So tell me, here you are. You follow a bunch of high school basketball players. 4 of them last night got drafted to the NBA. I mean, Pretty amazing. Did you know when you were shooting these kids that they, were going to go as far as they have or are?
I knew they had a good shot at it. There were some friends of mine who are sort of deep into the world of high school basketball recommended these guys as interesting guys to focus on for the doc.
So why your interest in basketball and doing a documentary about sports?
I just thought it would be interesting to take a look at the world of elite high school basketball and kind of get to know some of these guys and see what their world is like as they're kind of headed on this path towards being in the NBA,
being in the limelight,
in the spotlight, yeah.
And how do you think? I mean, times have changed a lot, obviously, from when the Beastie Boys first broke out. I mean, you didn't have all the outlets and the magazines and as much of a spotlight. I mean, do you feel like there's a real big difference?
Media outlets.
Yeah. So what's your advice to these kids that are coming up about to become famous?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Just keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. No, I don't know. I don't really have any real advice for them, but it's definitely interesting to meet them and to look at their world and try and get an understanding of what that's like. 'Cause they face so many pressures. I mean, these guys are like 15, 16 years old, and they're not only getting hit from these different media outlets, but they have sneaker companies that are interested in them, and financial advisors, and AAU coaches, and sort of like different scouts.
So it's like a lot of pressure for kids that are really teenagers. And,
not to mention their expectations from family and friends and neighborhood about their success. So there's a lot of weight on the shoulders of these kids, and it's definitely interesting to see that dynamic between them being a high school kid, being 15, 16, 17 years old, and at the same time having to be an adult on some level.
Now tell me about the shooting style, because it is kind of like it looks like a music video that just happens to be about basketball. I'm assuming that was intentional.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I guess that's my taste. That's where I like sort of like the way the wide-angle lenses and slow motion and whatnot moves, and I like cutting to music, so that probably is the result.
Awesome. Now let's talk Beastie Boys. I know I interviewed you a few years ago. You guys came out with an album, and it was in '05. I can't believe it was '05 since I saw you guys last. But any plans to go back into the studio?
Yeah, no, we're actually recording now. Even like kind of while I was finishing this film, we've been in the studio recording, and the record will probably come out early next year or something like that.
That's awesome. So is it still like old times when you get together in the studio?
Yeah, we always have fun. Me and Mike and Adam crack each other up.
Amazing. Yeah. And there is going to be a Q&A tonight, correct?
Yeah, at the theater on Lowe's 7 on 11th Street, 3rd Avenue. I'm going to go at 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock. I'm going to go and do a Q&A.
Awesome. That's great. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Cool.
It's great to have you. And Gunning For That Spot is in theaters today. And go to our website to find all the details on how to get to ask him questions and meet him in person.
All right, guys. Thanks very much.
Cool.
Well, coming up next on the Morning News, follow your friends.
Steve, it is so